Welcome back to another episode of The Rip. We are back with chapters because, as we like to say, sport isn't just about medals or records. It's about the beginnings, the wipeouts, the comebacks, the races, and also in the case of today's guest, the rescues and the after parties. And a lot of the next chapters waiting to be written. So, Brent, nice to see you again. Also, can we please get the drum roll going? From his first Clifton nipper carnivals at the age of 12 to mastering skills, chasing waves, and showing early signs of fearless determination. He then started racing for the Western Cape and now is stepping up onto the national stage for the President's team in New Zealand. This athlete's story is all about speed, passion, and showing up when it counts. He's built a reputation for spending more time in a barrel than most of us spend on land, and for being the Nippers' go-to board start demo guy at his club. He's never shy of a bit of banter on the start or finish line. He also once met the Queen of England, all thanks to a life that he saved. He's delivered big results on the sand, the surf, and in the pool. He's a lifeguard, a leader, and someone who's very passionate about sharing the stoke of our movement. And now his eyes are on the horizon, ready to ride his first President's team wave. He's joining us to share the stories, the lessons, and the people who've shaped his journey so far. So please join us as we welcome one of Clifton's finest, a man who races full speed through every chapter of his life. Welcome to The Rip, Tanner Gorille.
Oh, thanks so much, guys. Awesome to be here.
Okay, I was gonna maybe like try and say that in like how there's like UFC announcers do it. Maybe we should bring.
Sounded like that to me.
But I think that's like a skill I must work on. Or maybe it's something that Brent can bring.
We can't afford swivel chairs and Bruce Buffer.
But yeah, Tanner, we're very stoked to have you with us today. I think you just finished a training session, so stoked that you could fit us in between all the training that I'm sure you're doing as you head off to New Zealand soon.
Definitely.
We are going to be going through the various chapters of your life-saving journey that you've had so far. First up, Brent.
The early days, chapter 1.
I thought I was going to drum roll for that.
Oh, chapter 1. A man met a woman and fell in love.
Is that how that finished?
The number days. So set the scene for us, Tanner. Where were you in your life when you started life saving, and how did you end up at Clifton?
I actually moved around a lot as a kid. I was born in Cape Town, but didn't grow up here until I was about 12 years old. Landed back in Cape Town when I was 12 and went down to the beach. My parents were keen on me trying something new, and I wasn't really so familiar with the ocean actually back then. So it was a great way to get involved with the life-saving club, with the family, and learn skills in the ocean, which I quickly fell in love with almost instantly,
And what was the atmosphere at the club like those days? Any
Sure.
memorable characters? Pumba and his
Oh, so many. The club was a lot smaller. Obviously, we're talking about Clifton Surf. A lot smaller, a lot different. But some standout characters, some lifelong friends. Yeah, Dean Cottle, Pumba and Jolly, Rafi Jefter. The list goes on. Some amazing characters there, and that's exactly why I fell in love with it from a young age, and pretty much while I'm still here.
Yeah, good era.
Yeah. If you had to think about
tough competition back then.
some, like, you would have been taking part in some nipper comps. Are there any memories that you have that you think maybe like helped land it for you, that life saving is something that you enjoy and want to keep pursuing? I guess, I mean, age 12, you never know where you're going to be at age 26, but like, what kind of stood out for you at that time?
I think just, it's a cliche at this stage, but the sense of community for sure. I mean, I wasn't from Cape Town. I didn't feel at home in Cape Town at all. So as a new kid on the block, sort of joining a life-saving club as special as ours was amazing, to meet some incredible people and really feel like, I've got my thing going. I mean, as I said, instantly fell in love with the ocean and board paddling, like the first time I ever properly did it,
Did you, I mean, as a nipper, were you already like pretty decent at board?
No. I mean, I couldn't surf when I was 12. I was actually spent 2 years in Joburg prior to that, and I'd been in the States. So no life saving, no ocean. I wasn't good. I went on a few holidays, family holidays to Mozambique, where I really started surfing and enjoying like sort of more critical waves. And I think from then it did snowball quite quickly, and I do think that I was sort of a natural maybe. Along the way, if I could say that. But it took a long time to say that I feel, like I'm good at board. But yeah, from a young age for sure.
Okay, nice. And yeah, I think then, so going into chapter 2, you would have done your junior lifeguard award. At this time, I think, well, yeah, it's never a secret, especially when you're around my brother. You're a proud sax man.
Absolutely. I was waiting for my moment to say that. You stole it away from me.
Edit that bit out.
Yeah. Were you playing other school sports in high school, and like what was life savings fit during like that period?
Yeah, so when I started playing school sport properly, I think swimming and water polo was a big one for me. Just again, sort of naturally felt like that was what I enjoyed doing and what I was sort of better at doing. So yeah, I did sort of train as swimming with when I was younger. I tried to go the swimming route and the squad in the early mornings and stuff. It just wasn't really for me. So I was big into my water polo. Did play a bit of rugby, obviously coming from Sax. But again, something special in life saving that I just found to be a little bit different, that drew me to it so much. And I can remember as even sure, before high school and definitely throughout that life saving was my main focus. And that was like my rep at Sax, the lifeguard.
They what?
Like what a weirdo.
What were your goals at that time, Tanner? Like, take us into your mindset when you're junior. Did you have big aspirations even then? Were you?
Yeah, I think every kid has a dream of representing their province and representing their country, I think, in some small way. And I definitely always had that. I will say, though, that in my younger years, I was doing it purely for the fun of it. I didn't really have serious goals. And I certainly didn't understand the commitment that it takes to achieve goals when you set them for yourself. And I think that's been my journey throughout it. Always kind of wanting it, but also having fun with it for a long time. And I think that's also special. I'm happy to have gone through that route that way and learned it that way. Yeah.
And is there any specific race that stands out from you in those years?
In the younger years, a big one is that the club Clifton was quite small when I was a nipper, and we weren't like gunning for titles or anything like that. I remember my nipper age group. We went to Durban. That was my last under 14 age group. We went to Durban, and I think our age group got second in the country or something, and that was like amazing for us. We were like so happy, and it was a great result. And I think from there, so many standout races. A big one for me was when I think it was my first IP as a senior for sure. We were also back in Durban, and we were at Durban Surf in between the piers, and it was like 4 to 6 foot, and it was one of my first times racing at an elite level, and we were in a ski, no less. But yeah, the race went well, and that was definitely a stand. I remember seeing Matt Bowman next to me as like a young senior, going, "Wow, like I'm in it now." I love racing and big surf too, so that's a big one that stands out.
So competing in the junior years, were there any kind of tough challenges or like lessons that you had that you can reflect on that kind of like with bumps along the road? I remember one. I think you were maybe still a junior at this time. In like the 1 year you famously folded your board in half at First Beach.
Oh, yeah.
I can imagine that was quite a tragic time because your board was like your baby.
Yeah, it was a big one.
Firstly, take us through that day, and then were there any other tougher times?
That's like a
You can cry.
for a board paddler. That's the low of lows when you snap your board. Luckily, and shout out to Moses, our repair guy. He was able to resurrect that thing after years of dormancy. So I still ride her. She's not quite the same, but I'll never let her go. That was I guess a big day. I think for me, adapting to the sport as it's sort of changed a bit. I think in juniors, I knew nothing about still water, and it wasn't really something that we pushed to do, especially if you wanted to make national teams and stuff. So if I could say a challenge for me was learning to love the pool. is a big one. And I have really loved the pool and really enjoyed learning about the pool rescue scene and all the different opportunities that are in that. But I remember we at the club, we were trying to push Stillwater and grow it. So myself and Luke Mansfeld kept putting up our hand for the galas, and somehow we made it into the provincial team. We went to Pretoria, which was an awesome tour, but that's when I truly felt in the deep end, and that was a challenging day in the pool, but glad to have done it for sure.
And then, yeah, I think so. Going on to then the next chapter in your journey, like rising through the senior ranks.
The big boys.
Yeah, standing with the big boys. How did you find the jump from like high school junior competition into university student senior competition? Were there any like big differences?
I mean, yeah, I think it's always an adjustment when you're younger, looking up at the big guys, and it's quite intimidating. But I did feel from a junior, especially with the way things were at Clifton at the time, that I was very much involved with the seniors quite often, racing them here and there. So it wasn't so much of a challenge, and it's almost been so long I can't really remember.
And who've been the most influential coaches and training partners in your journey?
Yeah.
And jeez, he's plugging himself. I'm like, when did Christina?
Every time you ask that question.
No,
When did you do this stuff?
so many. I'll try and go through them all. I mean, as a nipper, when I first joined, I think that was a really important moment because I absolutely knew nothing about life saving. So guys like Jean-Carlo and Frankie taught me how to board paddle. There was Brad Bendel, Mark Truss involved in the running of the club. Dean Cottle, Captain Fantastic, also taught me a lot. And then, throughout the years, sort of changed quite a bit, and as it does. Over the more recent years, John C, of course, has been a massive influence in our whole club, and certainly in my career, always just a quiet little word here and there, and I've really been grateful for that. In the last sort of 2 years, I've really ramped up my training a lot, looked at strength and conditioning,
Have you got a good strength and conditioning
Yeah,
coach?
he's all right. No, he's a fantastic coach, Brent, and so I've been stoked to do that. I knew nothing about the gym either, so Brent's bearing with me for that process.
And you built quite a reputation as a strong board paddler and swimmer, Tanner. Not shy of a little tussle around the cans.
Nah.
What's sort of the driving factor behind that competitiveness? Lack of course.
I always had to prove myself, always the small guy. I don't know. I think the sense of team has been big for me. I love racing for Clifton. When I put on the skull cap, I just go into a different mode, and that's why I almost feel like I compete better when it's a team event because I'm just with my best friends and my teammates and sort of go through it all together. But I am a super competitive person, and I feel really comfortable in the ocean, so that's where it goes down.
And obviously at the stage of your life, and you've probably been for a few years now, where you have to balance everything: work, studies, being a senior, leadership. This is a state we often see like a massive drop off in numbers at this stage. What's keeping you there, and what has kept you there for the long haul?
Yeah, I think once again, just the people involved in it. When you do life saving, it's, for me at least, it's not about duty or sports or everything. It's like a whole ecosystem, and we're doing so many different things. It's like they're all my best friends. We're always hanging out together. It is the norm. I think I often have this discussion with other people, sort of my age or even younger, going into uni or whatever. Like, how am I going to manage it all? I think it's often built up quite a lot in your head, and if it means enough to you, if it's a priority to you, you absolutely can make it
Find a
work.
way.
You find a way. There was just no other way. There were no two ways about it for me, really.
And I think it's also been cool to see how you haven't shied away from taking on more responsibility at your club. I think like whenever people are looking around, they need someone to put their hand up, yours like shoots up. And you worked as an instructor, went on to be head instructor, you were vice captain. Now you've served as club captain for I think 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
Also been a squad leader. Is it's a decision to decide to give up more of your time. But what have you enjoyed about working in your club in these roles, and like how's it kind of formed another part of your life?
I've definitely learned so much. I think that's the main thing. And I think you're always told as a younger person, you know, take all these opportunities because you learn from so many amazing people. And I always imagine that as like, okay, cool, you do it, and then you learn the things, and then you're done. But it's not the case at all. I think, you know, facing different challenges here and there, and having really big goals, and you know, being really inspired by that. Yeah, I just want to have a hand on the steering wheel for sure. It's just so inspiring for me, and yeah, learning and being around the people that we have at our club is, yeah, it's something that I'm really grateful for. So it's kept me around, and yeah, we'll do so for a few years, I reckon.
Yeah, and I think just to touch on that again, like, would you say to anyone out there, like, say there's juniors listening, does taking on a lot of these extra roles harm your athlete goals and your athlete potential, or in a roundabout way, can the two work really well together if you figure it out?
Yeah, tricky question there,
Yeah.
to be honest. But I think for me, feeling like a leader for a team has been a big one, and you know, just trying to set an example and sort of lead from the front in an almost servant leadership sort of style. And I think, yeah, that's definitely kept me going in my training. I wasn't, as you know, I wasn't so serious on my training maybe 3-4 years ago, but I always kept a level of sort of respectable level, I suppose. And that was always because I was put in these positions, and I knew that I had influence on those that were a part of the club, and I wanted to set a good example for them. And I think being the club captain and having all these different responsibilities has also taught me a lot about balance and prioritizing different things, and teaching me those skills, which has come into effect a lot with my training as well, you know. So I think all these skills do kind of have a synchronicity to them. So
There you go.
yeah.
Nice. Word of the day.
Woo!
And another area you've had a lot of experience in as a senior. So we would like to know, what 3 things do you think make for the best kind of after party?
Ooh. Did you say a lot of? I've had a lot of experience. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
another area of lifesaving.
Yeah, no, it's a full-on area. Full-on area. So what was the question again?
So what 3 things do you think, like, if these 3 things exist at an after party, it means the after party
then
is
it's
a
the
vibe?
vibe. Sunburned skin, got to be the number one. Dehydration, and good vibes.
Yeah.
I think those are the 3 that you need for a life-saving after party.
There you go. A mixed bag of tricks there.
Yeah, basically the opposite of what we advise anyway, like sunburned lifeguards. Okay, cool. And then, so just into another chapter, and this is quite a cool one. Is all your stories with your rescues you've done. I mean, we often like to say that you hopefully aren't going to come across many lifeguards who have like loads of big rescue stories, because
Yeah.
hopefully they've done a lot to prevent
No, of course, yeah.
these types of situations happening. But I think you have found yourself, because you've clocked a lot of hours serving across Clifton, Camps Bay, Llandudno, working on like some of the busiest days of the year. So what does giving up hours like of patrol service mean to you, whether working voluntary or also working pro for the city? Like, how's that experience been?
I think it's been amazing. Something that I'm so passionate about. This is why I'm still doing it in my time when I can. I think the main one for me was learning the seriousness of what can happen from a young age. You obviously are taught it, and I think we all know going through our lifeguard award that this is what we're doing and what we're training to do. But seeing it firsthand and being a part of it firsthand is definitely a big one for me. Yeah, realizing that you can make a huge difference, you know, and that lots of people, even though they don't know it even, rely on you in a big way. And I think, yeah, it always has been a huge honor for me to guard people's lives, and also, yeah, really inspiring to know that people depend on you to do the right thing. So, yeah.
In 2020, and I know this that it was 2020 because there was a COVID mask around your neck, I think. But you received the Royal Lifesaving Society's Russell Medal for resuscitation.
Yeah.
And this meant that you got to do a Zoom call with Queen Elizabeth, which is insane. There's not many people, I think, who can say that. One, what was the rescue that this was for? And two, what was it like, fast forward to meeting the Queen?
Not as
Yeah.
big as being on the rip, but pretty big.
Yeah.
Honestly, one of the greatest honors of my life, to to receive that award and to have a conversation with Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. Quite insane, especially as a younger senior. It was quite crazy. The story itself, there was a bit of a delayed reaction to it. I was awarded the medal years prior, just like recognized, almost like a certificate. Thank you very much. Here's the medal. And the medal is for successful resuscitation done by a miner. So at the time, on the 1st of January 2017, I was at the camp, 2016 maybe. I was at the tidal pool. I was on duty, and it was obviously a public holiday. Crazy vibes around the tidal pool. Lots of horseplay, all of that stuff. Really hard to tell what's going on. Eventually, a lifeless body in the tidal pool, and now you go and you do it. Crazy moments. Still get goosebumps thinking about it. I was just fortunate that my training had paid off. That's the thing that I always say, because you don't really think. Much like a race as well. Just do it. It has to be muscle memory. If you have a dart, it's probably not going to go the right way, So you really have to just believe and sort of react on the fly. I was just really fortunate that day that everything went all right. Performed the resuscitation, and I was nominated for the award, and then received the award, and then a few years later, I think it was an anniversary or some formal event that was taking place, and I was invited to have a Zoom call with the Queen, which is unbelievable. I put a lot of prep there, media-wise, because it was the first time I'd ever done proper media. And everyone was a bit like, whoa, what's going to happen? But it went well. And
Don't say shit, don't say shit.
Dude, so much more than that. To prepare to have a discussion with royalty, with the Queen of England was crazy. But really awesome. And I think that did a lot to showcase lifesaving to people that don't really think about it or don't really know much about it. I had all my friends asking me what's going on. It was cool to spread the message of drowning prevention and the great work that loads of lifeguards do and go unrecognized for. Which is crazy, but that's just sort of how it goes. That was cool.
How old were you when you did that rescue?
I was 17. So that's what the medal's for. I think any time a successful resuscitation happens, it's crazy. I mean, we all know the stats and the chances of it being successful anywhere in any circumstance. I was just lucky that my training had paid off, and lucky to have been taught by such amazing people.
I think we could go, personally, I could go on a 20-minute rant here, which I do for the kids all the time. I think, especially us as competitors, and we focus on the competitor side, this is actually what we're here for.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably the ultimate beauty of our sport or movement is that it's a blend of those two things, service and rescue.
Absolutely.
And in the sport, it's almost of a secondary nature. And I think, I do think that gets lost on all of us, especially me, sometimes when we're in the heat of the moment. So it's nice to acknowledge that, Perfect leeway into the next conversation. High performance, Tanner. Chapter 5.
Chapter.
So you've obviously represented the Western Cape in surf and pool. What has that journey been like? Obviously, it hasn't always been straightforward. What are some of the ups and downs along the way? How have those experiences shaped you as an athlete?
Great question. I think going into your first provincial cap is always really daunting, but it's also a huge moment in any athlete's life, I think. I was definitely ecstatic and so proud and over the moon the first time, and every single time that I receive a cap, it's a great honor. Challenging though, I mean, and that's what you want as an athlete, I think, to go to that level and have a little bit more condensed and concentrated competition and really get to race properly. As I mentioned, the Stillwater side was a big learning curve for me. Obviously, I felt somewhat natural in a ski at cooking Nupia, but not really so much in the Pretoria pool. And I think, you know, learning the blend of that as well. I mean, now that the teams are combined and it's very much one sport, I'm really grateful for that opportunity. And yeah, I think highs and lows. I mean, I mentioned that race with Bowman at Durban, which is insane. And yeah, just so many others along the way. I think the team as well is what makes it. I think I was fortunate enough to captain the surf team in Mossel Bay, and just an incredible bunch of people. And yeah, to race with sort of the best of the best in a team and all rep the same colors is definitely a highlight moment. It's time to put away the somewhat feuds between clubs and sort of get behind one mission, which I enjoy. Yeah.
And yeah, last year was quite a team for province. I think 90% of the national team was made up of people from that
Yeah, it
provincial
was
team.
very close, barring like one.
Yeah. No, and it is pretty cool when you get your Western Cape cap and then suddenly your mates from the deep south are suddenly your teammates.
Oh, we love each other.
But it's really fun because I think and I'm sure you would say like then the team dynamics and the team racing become really special.
Yeah, and I think there is this commonly understood thing that, you know, obviously when you put on the blue cap, it's, you know, it's time to unite as a province, and I think that is a really beautiful thing that's happening, at least in our province, is that it does feel like it's getting closer and bigger and better, and everyone's sort of gelling really well in the province, which is amazing. So yeah, really fortunate to
It's
be
like
a
the
part of it.
Durban team, or KZN was almost invisible last year. That joke. Okay, then obviously last year you traveled with Clifton to compete at Worlds. I mean, what is that experience like? Can you give us two big takeaways from that, Tanner?
Jeez.
I'm sure you got
Or you
10.
can do more.
Mind blowing. I do have a lot to say on that, actually.
Yeah.
I think it was a big shift for me, you know, personally in my training. Again, just so thankful for the opportunities that were presented to me from my club. I never really thought that it was a realistic goal to set for myself to go to a world champs. It was everything and more that I could have ever hoped for. The level of competition was a big one, so that's the first standout. I mean, we like to say lots of school fees were paid. Yeah, just a big learning curve to realize the level of competition and also not just the level in terms of performance, but how many people are on that level. You know, so in South Africa and in our racing circles, it's maybe like 2 or 3 guys that are like super good. In Australia, maybe like 200 or 300 guys that are like super good. So that was cool though. I mean, to go there and even travel around in Australia on the buses, and you know, you sit next to someone and you ask them, well, they ask what you're here for, and then you say, oh, lifesaving world champs, and they know exactly what lifesaving is about.
Yeah.
I think that's a big
They
one.
don't like what is
Yeah, they were like,
it's a
oh,
sport?
good luck against
Try being a
Australians.
BC Tanner. They just say, oh, you must be a good swimmer.
Yeah. No, for sure. I think that was a big one. Seeing like, you know, going to the epicenter of lifesaving in the Gold Coast was just absolutely incredible. So to see world lifesaving at that level, also I'm talking about the safety boats because I'm into all of lifesaving. The safety boats and the helicopters to me were like also really amazing.
The IRB racing was next
It's
level.
classic.
Yeah.
The sound.
Yeah, like 30 or more identical IRBs like racing out to sea. Just so
I'm sure you were like kind of standing there with like one ear open, like hoping someone would say like,
Anybody need one?
can anyone drive an IRB? We short of an athlete.
I'd be over there in a jiffy. Even like we were doing one of our events and the arenas were like close to the boats and I was like drifting towards the boat arena. Yeah, like, oh, Tanner, come back. Okay. So yeah, just really cool experience. And I think that also it was a big catalyst for me in terms of my training. I hadn't really ever, you know, given myself a good shot at training throughout the off season. It was always sort of like a seasonal thing, you know, like lifesaving used to be, not so much anymore. I don't really feel that way, but It used to be a cycle of getting really fit in the summer and then sort of taking the foot off the gas for the winter. So the opportunity, as a club, Clifton, we started preparing for Worlds quite far in advance. And that was my real opportunity to put together sort of almost a year of training. And I think that made the big difference for me as seeing being fit and being at a high performance level as like a 365 all year kind of thing.
You're not like having a full off season of like 6 months.
Yeah. Those peaks and those troughs. I think that was a big one for me. It was the catalyst, I believe, that sort of snowballed into where I feel I'm at now, which is a good place. So I think, just really grateful for the opportunity that the whole thing provided.
And I mean, next year, obviously, you don't have to travel as far.
Yeah, luckily.
But have you got one eye on World Champs next year?
Oh, definitely. No doubt. I will be there for sure. And let's see what happens.
What capacity? Look, my biggest takeaway from that is the often pointed out older person is that Tanner's going to be somewhere in a jiffy.
That was bad. As soon as it came out the tongue, I was like, what have I done?
This is new tagline.
In a jiffy shirt.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you actually just touched on it, but in the rescue sports series this last season, you were obviously being a mile. You've been a lot more consistent this year. Your racing's been a lot more consistent. I think you probably already answered that. What brought this shift? And can you take us through maybe one of the races of last year that you've been most proud of?
In the Rescue Sports Series, one of those races?
Yeah.
The Rescue Sports Series, I must say, is amazing. It's created such a vibe around the competition. Besides for the amazing sponsorship and all the opportunities for the athletes, I think just the hype of the Instagram posts of the rankings was keeping me going. I don't know about anyone else.
Profile pictures.
Yeah, I mean, it's just amazing to have the spotlight on the sport, where before you'd have to go and look through an Excel spreadsheet to like check the results, and only the real diehards would do it. A lot more accessible for everyone, and it elevated the sport for sure. And I think that speaks to the consistency as well. Like, I wanted to show up and keep my spot on the rankings. So I think that was a big one. Favorite race of the Rescue Sports Series? Western Cape Champs. The greatest second place. I mean, the second place is always a tough one, but this one didn't matter. I love this race.
Felt like a win.
Yeah, second place never felt more like a win ever. Because one of our close friends, Conrad Skippers, I think he was on the team, and he's not the strongest of board paddlers, and we were up against some really tough competition, and he knew he was going to go last, and he knew the situation that he would be in. I couldn't watch the race because he's my real close friend, and
Conrad's also quite new to the sport,
so
right?
new.
And I think, he froths like so hard and has had to learn board like from scratch.
Yeah.
And I think, he's done a lot of paddling with you, which would have helped. But so he's in the third leg.
Yeah, he's in the third leg of the board relay. Side note, he is my training partner and one of my best friends. I have had the chance to give him a few tips on his board, and I was hoping that they were going to pay off, and they did pay off that day. That was an amazing race. He held on to the spot. We got our second. He was elated. We all were. It was just a great race, and I think more than why it was more special than the wins or the gold medals, I think, was just to see that journey and to see a close friend who, maybe wasn't backing himself, but we believed in him and we put him in there, and for it all to work out was just so special, and it was a close race.
I just want to quickly jump in. What did happen in the men's surf swim around the Cairns?
I don't know. It is hard to tell what goes on in these races. Not so hard when there's a drone footage. But argy-bargy around the Cairns. I mean, guys are really close to one another. The Cairns there, we're swimming with our arms. Anything can happen around the Cairns. I honestly, when it finished, there were some people that were really upset. I didn't really understand what the problem was. It's just racing, I suppose. I think that's all I have to say about it.
It's okay. And I think recently you've gotten the call up to the president's team, and you'll be heading to New Zealand in November. It's I mean, in a way, you got your first taste of international competition with world champs, like interclubs. But this is a whole nother level,
Yeah.
obviously, because this is now the country's best. So less heats, more pressure.
Yeah, exactly like that.
But I think besides like foreshadowing like how we'll think it's going to go for you, how did it feel to kind of knock down this next door and get into the national team setup? Yeah,
it was amazing. It was a really, really beautiful feeling. Coming off SA champs as well with the Clifton team, the Clifton seniors in specific, I think we were on such a high. Everyone had such amazing results in the team, and we were also stoked for each other. But the immediate next thing was what's going to happen with the squad, who's going to go where. So there was a lot of anticipation. Really, really proud to have got my first sort of national call up and call to go. I'm keen. I'm super, super keen to see how it goes. I feel really good about how the training's going. So just focusing on controlling the things that I can control, for sure. Yeah, was that the full question?
Have you made any kind of changes between last year prepping for Worlds in Oz and now prepping for ISRC? Like a year later, what have you kind of
Yeah, so as I mentioned, it's been like a snowball effect. I've learned a lot about what works for me and what doesn't, and the things I like doing and the things I don't like doing. It's more about discipline, I think, in doing the things that you don't really want to do. When I was training for Australia, I was kind of just focusing on board, and doing board, and not even in the right way, like getting on my board as much as possible, but just for the fun of it, and catching waves and doing my thing. My prep for New Zealand is a lot different. I mentioned the strength training. I've never really strength trained ever in my life, so that has been a new one that I've added in the program. A lot of swimming. I mentioned Conrad as well. He's my training partner, so swimming all the time with him, up to like 5 times a week, which is a big shock for me.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, I'm really stoked with how it's going, and yeah, we'll see what happens.
And so yeah, like what's the perfect training week for you right now?
Like day by day, or
Yeah, like take us to your Monday
The
to
perfect
Sunday.
week. Okay,
Like
cool.
what's the plan?
So my week starts on Sunday, most important session. Shout out JT. Sunday, irons at the club. General club day most of the day, and then huge feast and afternoon nap. Monday morning, swim, gym, afternoon. Tuesday morning or afternoon, swim. Then some sort of craft, usually on a Tuesday. I've also enjoyed training with the lands guys here and there. They have a good training going on a Tuesday, board training, so try and get there when I can. Wednesday, also another gym session. That's that, Brent, usually upper or what? Yeah. That's the deadlift day.
Posterior.
Gym, swim.
Posterior, no,
Yeah. Thursday, to be honest, I try and skip swimming on Thursday. Don't tell Conrad, he doesn't figure it out yet, but usually that's the day I try and skip the swimming, just to be catching.
It's like,
catching
wow,
Conrad's taking notes.
this dog's just always eating Tanner sandwich. Like,
Yeah, it's like
poor guy.
Thursday, just
Poor guy's
such a
sick.
coincidence. Then Friday swim and then gym again. So like 3 gym sessions. I said 4 to 5 swimming sessions, and then craft sessions structured on Sunday with the irons, and then on Tuesday, depending, Clifton or lands, just depends, and then I just try and get on my board as much as I can. Right, free surfing all the time in between that, of course. So.
And diet-wise?
Oh, big. Jeez, that's also another thing that
Has that changed?
I feel like I should be answering this question.
Nutrition and recovery. I mean, geez, Brent and I have gone back and forth quite a lot about that. But that's, again, like learning all these different parts about being an athlete has been a big one for me. Again, I just thought, just paddle your board as much as you can, you'll win the race. No.
Just keep doing the same thing over and over again.
What's that saying?
The recovery, a big one. Nutrition, a big one. Just eating so much, or trying to eat as much as possible has been a big one for me because I just burn through it super fast. Been leaning into the recovery a lot as well. Been introduced to saunas. Love the sauna. Lots of good chats in the sauna. Just piecing that all together and really looking at it from a holistic point of view about every little element and every little percent that we can get, it's been a big one for me. Yeah, completely
Nice.
different to a couple of years ago, for sure.
And just one other jump back we want to do into this season you've had. You touched on it a bit, but yeah, take us into like senior nationals this year at SA Champs. It really did. I mean, yeah, I was in the arena, the open ladies and open men's arena. It was so cool. Yeah, what were those 3 days in the surf comp like for you? What was making it so special? Any highlights?
Yeah, so many highlights. I've gone to a lot of SA Champs now, and that was by far the best SA Champs. Surf and pool for sure. I mean, the whole comp was just amazing. And not okay. I'm not gonna say not because of the results, because a lot to do with the
And I
results.
mean, it feels good to win.
Yeah.
The people at gym do not look good. Sure. That's a little more.
But no. I mean, there's a lot more to it.
In all seriousness, the team. I mean, we've come a long way at Clifton, and we've worked really hard on certain places. And I think seniors has been a big one for us. I feel like I felt in those days that we're finally in a place that our seniors are a force to be reckoned with. So that felt really good. I mean, obviously growing up with Zach and Orr and all the boys, there's no better feeling than winning those team races with those guys against the best lifeguards in the country, no doubt. Also, like a extra special one was winning the board rescue with Noor. Yeah, we'd wanted that one for a long time. And yeah, I taught Noor his JLA award when he was a kid. We went through the whole thing together. It was the first time I'd ever instructed a JLA course as well, so it was definitely a spicy course. We were actually talking about it earlier on the phone, actually. Yeah, just so special to go through it with the boys and girls, of course. I think it was amazing to have the arenas all together as well, because everyone knows the ladies carry Clifton on their shoulders. That's no doubt there. So to see the power coming through from them and sort of being pushed on by them and encouraged was really cool to combine the arenas, and I'm definitely for that in the future. Yeah, with the team in the arena, it just felt like everything was right.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, I think like when you were younger, Clifton. Well, I mean, anyone who's ever been young at Clifton has never looked up to such a large senior team before.
Never. And I think that's a snowballing effect, I think. And it's amazing. It's the best feeling ever, and I just want to keep it going for as long as possible with that magic. It's just so magic, yeah.
If you could give other clubs out there one or two pieces of advice on like how can they also look to kind of build a nice big senior crew?
I think having the social vibe between everyone is a big one. Regularly being together, I think, is a big one, and working on everything together. And yeah, I don't know, just being together, I think, is a big one. To me, at Clifton, it just feels so natural. So I can't share the secret sauce. It's a thing. It's just a vibe. Yeah.
Spend more time at the beach together.
Yeah. Just
think it's. And tennis, the national team. Obviously, that's the dream. What would that mean to you?
Sure. I struggle to even put that into words, really, especially because it's not something that I always thought was realistic, to be honest. It's really only through the encouragement of others and little glimpses of hope here and there that it now I feel like it's something that is certainly achievable for me. And that belief is also kind of a scary thing, like I think we were joking about it the other day, this whole like underdog mentality. It's quite nice to be the underdog. Like no one's expecting much, and you can go out, and if you do well, it's like awesome, and if you don't, then like whatever. So to put time and invest yourself into a goal, and to say it on a podcast here, it is almost scary in a way, but also really inspiring and motivating. So yeah, I don't know, does that answer the question?
No, I think, and I mean, obviously I work with a few athletes. I think it's a big thing to acknowledge this is what I want, and to
Yeah.
say it, and I'm going to commit. It does create a bit of fear.
No,
I'm going to
for
throw
sure.
everything I have at this. It's not as straightforward as everybody thinks. It creates fear. Like you say, you put it out there,
Yeah.
it opens you to failure. But
Yeah, no, but I like to lean into that.
Yeah.
I think before I had no right to say I want to make the national team. I think those that know me best knew that my head was never fully in it.
yeah,
And that's why I say that the world champs and the whole snowball effect has really sort of opened my eyes. And I am a very different person to before. And I think now I do all the time look in the mirror and say that's what's going to happen because that's what I believe. Yeah.
yeah. And you think cutting your hair played into that?
Oh, big time. Not just for aerodynamics. I think it was definitely time for that. Thanks for training to be a lot easier. I'm not gonna lie, like all that hair, putting it somewhere. But yeah, streamlined effect, both physically and mentally.
Jeez.
And here's a good one. Got to dream big here. If you could invent any life-saving event, what would it be?
Oh, tough question. I think life saving is already so unique in so many ways. But I would definitely do like an endurance sort of event, like a long board paddle. I think would be cool. I think a lot of it is often, besides iron, I guess, but a lot of it is quite short and sprinty. I think it would be nice to have a sort of a longer like Molokai challenge kind of long distance paddle. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah.
Obviously board paddle, no skis.
Okay, so like a Miller's board
It's a
paddle.
long board. There we
Yeah,
go.
that sounds pretty
Or
good.
like a Lands to Clifton.
Lands to Clifton. There we go. That's
Board
actually a
paddle.
downwind on the right day. But
Yeah, that would be quite cool.
I'll be onto something actually.
There was one nationals where they did like a long paddle, then there was like a optional long paddle non-medal event.
Really?
Oh, I think wasn't that
I hate
the
when they make things non-medal.
Like, what's the point?
Just
Yeah.
make it medal.
wasn't
Like,
that the tough guy challenge or something?
But there was
like
one
that?
long paddle, and
Yeah.
this I'm showing my
and
age.
they were like test. Yeah, it was probably in
Like
Yeah, I don't
80s.
remember. I was too young.
Okay, nice. So thanks for going through all your chapters, and yeah, I think you've got a very unique story, but there's definitely elements to it that a lot of other people out there can like say like, oh, it's similar to me, or like that's really cool. So that was awesome. We now want to go into the quick fire round.
Okie dokie.
There's no wrong answers except if you
Except
give
for
a
Okie
if
dokie
you,
and Jiffy.
if you give a wrong answer.
Oh,
Just say
roasted.
the first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay.
We each will do 3 questions at a time.
This is scary, but I'm down for it.
Yeah, just like pretend it's like a 10-foot wave at
Quick
land,
fires,
you
like-
know? Just
okay.
like
Oh, that's not scary.
paddle in. Okay.
Are you the youngest person living in an old age home? Okay, for real. Best Malibu wave you've ever caught.
Best Clifton First Beach, gotta be. I don't know if you remember things differently when you're younger, definitely. But geez, some of the memories I have, if they're real, that's crazy. So I would say Clifton First Beach, close second Lands recently. Yeah.
Favorite event to race? Who knows the answer, yeah?
Actually, Taplin.
Oh, there we go.
I prefer,
Okay.
yeah, Taplin
Board
is,
in Taplin.
yeah, I'm the board paddler, but Taplin's the race.
Least favorite event to do, but you do it anyway.
Gotta be individual ski. Gotta be.
Okay. Flat water or big surf?
Big surf every single time.
Speedo or wetsuit?
Jammers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cut that out.
Yeah. Have you raced in a speedo?
No, I don't think so. So I guess I gotta say wetsuit then. I guess first.
No, I mean just maybe when you like Noor one day you will.
Maybe that's the goal. So I guess you'll see me in a speedo soon.
Best win you've ever had?
Oh, gotta be recently at SA Champs. I reckon that board rescue probably takes it. And again, the Taplin as well. Yeah, just I think if you win the Taplin, you got the best clubs.
Worst wipeout.
That was definitely at Clifton First. I was actually knocked unconscious in the water.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, luckily I was with a friend, so that's why I'm here now. But yeah, no, it's super scary. Yeah, definitely Clifton First.
Were you surfing or on a Mally?
I was on a Mally, kind of surfing it. Yeah,
Both.
just lip came down. My head smacked into the board. I had like this huge golf ball. No, like really serious. Like I had
Oh
a
my
brain
gosh.
bleed and everything.
Yeah.
It's gnarly.
Jeez.
Yeah.
How old were you?
Probably 19-ish. Yeah,
Okay.
like my young gun era.
Is that when you woke up speaking like an old person?
Yeah, and it's been the same ever since.
Race tactic, go hard early or chase from behind?
Go hard early. I'm a starter.
Go to race day breakfast.
Geez, definitely changed over the years. Before, I reckon it could have been non-existent sometimes. But yeah, definitely oats, big bowl of oats, couple eggs maybe, something like that, for sure.
Okay. Favorite motto or saying that you race by?
If you ain't fast, you last.
Sure. Even rhymes. Okay, after party, shirt on or shirt off?
Come on. Shirt off. I mean, we sunburnt. We need the fresh air on the skin. I don't know if there's ever been an after party with the shirts on.
Okay, best Clifton club training memory.
I'm just picturing a Winter Warriors session. Winter Warriors is like our winter vibe, our training in winter. A few years ago, it must have been just before George left. George Allen, shout out George. Yeah, just it felt like a really cool time in the club. Everyone just, training in the winter is also pretty weird because it's like cold and everyone thinks it's like, oh, let's not do it. But for some reason, I always just froth a lot harder when it's like foamy and like
Make it
storming.
difficult. Make it difficult.
Yeah, it's just super cool. So, yeah, those sort of more intimate Wednesday warrior sessions in the winter for sure. Yeah.
Most competitive teammate.
Oh, tricky. They're all so different, but I mean, we're all really competitive. It's like we're all at the cap. I
Just
think
say it.
not all Lombards.
There we go.
My inspiration for sure. I have to shout out.
Hidden talent off the beach.
I'm pretty good at cooking. I like cooking. Yeah, I'd say cooking.
That's Caitlin said the same thing.
No ways. I
Yeah.
changed my answer.
So now, apart from you guys, we still need to organize. Well, now she's in Australia, but
This race.
that board race the start.
Oh, here we go again with the
Because yeah, we in our first ever episode of the RIP, we alleged that the two of you had the fastest starts.
yeah. So there was
Some
a
of course,
challenge.
some of the deep south oaks grumbled and rumbled that some of their oaks are faster.
Yeah, as
and,
they. Yeah, I'm joking.
and I mean, no one's ever stood with a stopwatch and timed
I think it's
these
time.
people, but I think it's time. But yeah, so we would need to facilitate a board start off between you and Caitlin and a cook off.
Okay.
What would you cook in a cook off against Caitlin?
Oh, I'd have to think about what she's going to cook so I could try and top it. But a Thai green curry, make a banging Thai green curry. So I'd have to go with that. And also, not easy to master a good curry.
Oh, there
Oh,
you
yeah.
go. There we go. Tanner's Curry Services coming to an after party near you.
Wish I prepped these.
I wish you prepped some curry.
Yeah.
We should make a new rule. They must bring us a meal, Christina.
Yeah.
Favorite type of training session? We answered that with your winter warrior.
Yeah, I think that's more of the environment. I love the Sunday irons. It's really cool. And lately I've been enjoying transition work. That's the session we did on Sunday. Yeah, I really enjoy the more technical stuff rather than like a big grind. So adding like little technical layers and making it a bit more fun. I enjoy that.
So your second favorite life-saving club, because obviously Clifton's your first.
Yeah,
Who's your second favorite?
Llandudno, for sure. Without one doubt. Llandudno is Surf Life Saving Club.
Okay. And like, what's one competition globally or like a global stage that you'd love to race on or like at?
So, I mean, World Champs coming up in PE, but I'll be there. So it's less of a dream and more reality. I think the World Ocean Series in Europe, I saw some really cool racing going down there. France and then the UK, Cornwall. That looks pretty fun. So yeah, I'd say that. World Ocean Series.
If you weren't life-saving, you'd be?
Lawyer, which I will be. So yeah.
Jeez. Lawyer, Thai green curries.
Oh, well-rounded, eh?
This is impressive. And then what's harder, training after an after party or jumping down a set of stairs?
Oh, they're both so easy for me at this stage. So yeah, I would say they're equally easy. I'll do both in my sleep, no problem.
Okay, epic. Well, Tanner, that is a wrap. Thank you for coming onto the rip. This was such a joy.
Yeah, thanks so much
Yeah,
for having me,
thank you.
guys. And how's it to everyone listening?
Shout out to the fans.
Shout out to Conrad.
Yeah.
And my mom.
All the
Yeah.
boys. I had to like work through the list. Forgot mom. Sorry.
Epic. Cool. That's a wrap on the rip. Catch us soon for another episode.
We'll see you in a jiffy.
See you in a jiffy.